Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm gonna do a little video on my 90 Nissan 300ZX. So basically I bought this car when I was 18 and drove it for a while. Used to drive it back and forth to Mexico and fell in love with the car, right? Well, I was beating on it one day and my NA motor blew up. So I was gonna get rid of the car, but someone offered me like $1,500 for it, and I didn't really want to let it go for that price, so I told him to leave. So anyways, I was building a Z31 at the time that I was putting an LS3 in. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna put the LS3 in this car. So I started looking around, and LOJ make swap kits for this car. They literally built everything: radiator, headers, the wiring harness, engine mounts, transmission mounts, I mean, you name it. Complete swap kit. I bought a few other parts. I bought the headers, I bought the transmission mount, engine mount, radiator. I didn't buy their engine harness. What else did I buy from them? Can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a few things to get this thing running. I'll pop the hood so you guys can actually see what it looks like under there. Obviously, when I first did the swap on this car, it didn't look as good as it does now. I've actually put more work into the engine bay because it was quite dirty. But this is what it looks like now. I've put about 3 motors in this car already. I blew up the first one. Actually, I didn't blow it up, the tuner did, but whatever. So it's got an LS3 in it. I'm using a T56 Magnum. As of now, I haven't finished the intake piping because when I did the whole engine bay, it was just kind of you know, ragged up here. But I did push the motor further back, so I think I'll have more room now to build a bigger cold air intake. Let's see, it's got 1 7/8 LOJ Cook's headers designed to fit this car. This is their like super expensive radiator. No one, I paid $1,600 for this thing. No one likes to pay the price for them. At the time when I was doing the swap on my other car, I had used a cheap radiator for the swap and it was always overheating. So I figured, you know, maybe this thing does work. I mean, it does work. I mean, but I sure did pay a lot for it, unfortunately. I know a lot of other guys running cheaper radiators that don't have any overheating issues. My biggest problem right now when I drove the car, it's kind of tuned, it's speed density tuned, but since I have the mass airflow just sitting here, my IATs rise up real high, which causes the car to kind of not buck, but it'll like cut power or something like that. I am on flex fuel, but I am on E85 100% of the time. But I'll start it up and so you guys can hear it. It does have a camshaft that is custom spec for that engine. These are my IATs right now, 73, but they will go to like 180, which is not good at all. This is the coolant temp. It's at 86 as of now. I'm gonna give it a little drive. That way you guys, I guess, can see how the car rides. My speedometer isn't connected as of now. It was before I did the whole engine bay. The oil pressure gauge is not working as well. That's why I got this one, but this one doesn't read correctly either. It reads when it wants. Right now it says 48, which I don't think it's 48. I think it's more around 58, but it does shoot up whenever I accelerate. But let's go for a ride. T56 Magnum. It's a great transmission, actually. I spent a lot of money doing the transmission in this car, mainly for two reasons. One, when you do the swap, this car NA has a 4.08 rear diff ratio. So if I was to use the original 5-speed off of my car, well, this car, I wouldn't cruise so low. This one's got 2 overdrive gears versus only having 1 with the Nissan 5-speed. But what's cool is that LOJ, you know, they make the swap to where if you have that 5-speed, you can use it. They have a plate to adapt the Nissan 5-speed to the LS, which is really neat. But I use this transmission for that reason. And then the second reason was it's stronger. It's a stronger transmission. Very beefy transmission. I mean, I've never had any issues shifting it. I've raced this car dozens of times actually, and it's never popped me out of gear. It's never not wanted to go into gear. It's never grinded. So that was my main reason for doing the T56 Magnum in this car. So that's what I'm talking about. It does that. It like kind of cuts power and then it comes back really quick. But that's because of my IATs being so high. I could actually put them on here. So my temperature right now is 181. I do live in Houston, Texas, where it gets super hot. So that's another reason I actually went with the radiator, is it gets super hot down here. Hot, humid, I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't have AC in this car as of now, but before I did the whole engine bay painting and all that stuff, you know, tucking the wires, I did have AC. I was actually running the Nissan AC compressor for this car actually. It worked really well. I mean, it would get, I think, 60 degrees in here, 58. It worked very well. But when I did the engine bay, it looked very ugly, the lines and all that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna run a Z06 AC compressor, make custom lines that'll look neat. We're gonna get on 45 in a little bit, so you guys can see how it cruises. The exhaust in here is not that well. I know I'm driving kind of reckless, unfortunately, but let's see here. That's third gear. The numbers when I, because I used to have the speedometer working at 2100 RPMs. It's about 85 miles an hour. So right now we're doing close to 70, 75. But with the Nissan 5-speed, I'd be cruising at, to go 80 miles an hour, I'd probably be at 3,500 RPMs versus, less than 2,000 now. And I actually did change my differential. I'm running a twin turbo differential now, which drops down the gear ratio from 408 to 369. Can hear the whine when I accelerate. I did the entire rear subframe bushings. I put the solid SPL differential bushings, and the subframe bushings. They're all solid. It feels a lot different. I'm also running all SPL adjustable arms in the rear. Car feels very different after I got it aligned, but I'm happy with it. And it's actually pretty soft ride, even though I have coilovers. I'm running the Power Tricks coilovers, and they don't feel that bouncy. Alright, well, we're probably gonna get off here. We're at 190 degrees right now. Both fans should be on at 190. But yeah, this car NA with an LS it's a pretty fun car. I honestly have to say it's fun. I actually want to take this car and do some time attack after this whole coronavirus stuff goes away. Not really wanting to drag race it. Not my thing anymore. But I do want to do time attack. Hopefully after everything goes away, I'm able to do that with this car so I can post more footage. But let's see. Everything's working. Both fans are on. It gets super hot in here because I guess I have a hood now. I actually didn't have a hood before, and I have a plate down there. I have to find a way to put a vent on the hood maybe to get some of this heat out. Like I said, this is exactly why I got this radiator. It gets hot down here, especially in 100-degree weather. But you see, it'll go down, it'll go up, it'll go down. But mainly when you're cruising, it'll be at between 178 to 185. At idle, you know, sitting in traffic, it'll get maybe 195, but it tries to keep it within that range. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, or if you're looking to do a swap, feel free to shoot me a message. I will gladly help anyone that wants to do a swap. Obviously, you don't have to spend as much money as I did. You could do it for far cheaper. But yeah, my other Nissan 300ZX is actually gonna get a twin turbo VG. It's a NA car as well, but I want to have both. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe on this video. I'm gonna try and post more content of this car and the other car as well. And like I said, feel free to ask me any questions if you have any.